Hello and welcome to the drawing world. We've made it to 10 entries. And I say we made it to 10 because it's not only the creator of the videos, but it's also you as an audience who makes this channel possible. Just by the mere fact of being an audience, you're also a co creator of any production, be it fine art, be it um, videos, anything has to be multi-dimensional for it to really have a life of its own. Um, in this channel, we usually uh, concentrate on the personal gauge. Um, and as this is the very final entry, I'm just gonna say a little bit of what I tried to, uh, the points that I tried to make, the points that I wanted to come across to the audience. Um, if we really think about what it was a beginning for the beginner, let's say art collectors, if you want to call yourselves that. Um, actually, I don't think that's a good term. Um, for people that had the capacity or the need to one day be an art collector, um, the personal gauge is the gateway to getting to be an art collector who is multidimensional, which is the normal art collector. Um, Art collectors usually have the personal gauge, but they also have gauges of other perspectives from history, and history meaning from other worlds, other cultures, other individuals. Um, and this sounds very complicated. This is why I wanted to promote the personal gauge, which is what you like in within fine art, um, as the gateway to getting to um, to being an art admirer. Um, but so the co-creator with the artist is the audience. Without the audience, there's no one to see the art, and it becomes a very existential problem. Um, Once again, think back to the tree falling in the woods. I think everybody's heard of that, or most people, many people have heard of that example. Um, how can sound exist if there's no one there to hear it? If a tree falls in the forest, in the same way, if there's a very exquisite and very uh, innovative or very advanced developed art, but there's no one there to see it or to admire it, and like maybe there's an audience that sees it, but they don't really read all the little nuances of what it actually is, then it's really wasted. It feels like waste. It feels like it's just idea, space, and existential waste. And it's nothing that's like wrong. I mean, if there's an artist that creates a certain art and the audience is not ready for it, let's say they're not ready for it now, an audience may be ready for it, let's say 400 years from now. That's a tragedy of certain art movements. Um, However, I guess it's up to the artist or to the people that are living within that one age to really uh, really adapt to what the art is. Because if it's from their same time, then they should really, kind of wake up, realize, have the realization that it is part of them. But sometimes these things happen, centuries later, and in that way, if the artist were to, let's say, not pursue it, or uh, take it to the grave with them, if there's no immediate audience that is for this type of art, even if it's so great, even if it's genius, then it becomes waste in a way. Um, so that's why it's very important for the audiences to be co-creators of art, um, because in that way the art really has a purpose, a multi-dimensional purpose. It exists in many different ways, just as, let's say, a family unit where the father, let's say, um, exists as a father with the perspective of a father, and then the offspring exists with the perspective of the offspring. But they'll never really know how their father is 100%, and the father will never really know how the offspring are, or the mother, um, or whatever other family unit there is, either in humanity, the animal kingdom, or any other society in our existence, or in any other existence. Well, in any other existence, there may be other laws and things, but I guess it's safe to say in our existence, and an existence that is similar to ours. Um, so we have multi-dimensional lives in that way, and like if you think, once again, like I started in some of the first entries where I talked about the Mona Lisa, or the Michelangelo's David, whatever highest um, profile art piece you can think of, or a Picasso, or um, what else is there? Malevich Square. Um, but all these significant things, they come from history. So we need to know their histories, and those are other perspectives. That's not your personal gauge. So once again, going back to the personal gauge is the easiest, and that's why I wanted to really touch upon that within this video series. Um, so it was intended for the the general public, who is, let's say, who feels as outsiders to art. Um, of course, the personal gauge is the first one to come in, because there is one I would say one wrong way to go into it, which is to learn the terms of what is valuable in the art world, and that's a wrong pathway, because if you go into that, you're not really admiring the art, you're admiring your own level of understanding of titles. uh and I've seen several people fall into that. So that would be the wrong way. Now the personal gauge is very, um how should I say, it's kind of frightening, because you don't know if you will admire something that is maybe thought of as low level. uh but it shouldn't be frightening, because you find your own way, you find what you like. And what finding what you like is not easy either. uh I mean, I myself have to, think about things. Do I really like this, or do I not? Why do I like this? Is there a reason? Is there a reason that I know, or is there a reason that I don't know yet? But I have to have that certainty that there is a reason. But if I don't know a reason why I like it, then that's where you start falling into the danger of maybe admiring something that is not praised. So there's two ways: one, admiring something that is not praised, something negative, and not knowing why. So maybe you understand a little bit more about it later on, and then you realize, oh, I shouldn't have liked that because I don't really. But then there's another way where you find out how you like it and why. Um, and even if it's not praised, even if it's a negative, low level thing, you may find a personal gauge science to it where if you can justify it, then you find new value within it. That's if the value already existed, of course. And what you're creating is, as a co-creator, you're creating the way to consume it. Uh, if the audience does not create these ways to consume it, because every audience is going to consume it in a different way. There's not no set way to consume something. There are patterns, and there are like a body of laws and values, but there is no completely 100% set way to do this. And that's where the co-creator, the audience, will come in and complete the work. And that's what I mentioned in past entries, where I said that where I said that you complete the artwork. You are filling in some of the existence nothingness that it has, even if it's a completed work, because the audience, the owner that buys it, or anyone that's gonna either own it or sell it or regard it, will make uh, spaces of existence out of the relationships that they have with the finished artworks. Um, so that's just a little bit about how you are the co-creator of such things. Because if there's, of course, if there's like theater and there's no audience, then it's not multi-dimensional. Um, and also, I mean, if you want to take it a step further, there's also um, feedback that you may directly or indirectly give to the creators, to the artists, where they might understand how you, as an audience, are regarding and are consuming uh, these artworks. It may clear up certain things for the artist, and it also may not only clear up but bring in new things, new elements. And that this can be like if you talk to the artist, when you talk to the artist, when you react to the art, and if the creator, if the artist is aware of how their art is being perceived, then that really brings the artist to either react by changing direction slightly. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big change of direction or anything. Um, or just, a slight change or no change as well. But there is a relationship between the artist, the art, and the audience. That even if there is no literal impact on the artwork or on the future artworks, there is still a certain existence which is different. Um, and the body of the work of an artist is a reflection of not only the artist and the art and the life of the artist, but also of the people that consume the art. Anybody who was the audience, uh, if they interacted directly or indirectly with the artist, they're shaping it as well. The history of the art is being shaped by whoever is consuming it. So it's a really nice thing. It's a really, I think it's a really it's like a privilege for, like, the next time you go to a museum and you are looking at these artworks, you're part of the history of the artwork. You yourself as an audience, as part of the audience. If there's a lesser known artist, and there's less people that have seen a finished work, then you are a big part of it until it gets thrown to the masses, or more people become aware of. But still, you have your space in time within certain artwork. So once again, like I said, that's just a little bit about it, and that's the end of the series. I realized that it's the personal gauge is the gate to getting to really admire art in a multidimensional way. So with that point, I want to move on to the ending here. So uh, let's do the deep breath as we've done in every entry. So inhale on one, exhale on two, and I hope you keep doing it, even if this transmission from the drawing world is no more. I might pop in later on during the year, depending on where the drawing world goes or is, or what it turns into. Um, but for now, let's do the deep breath. So so as an audience, I want to thank you, to everybody who participated in this series. It was a 10 entry series. Um, you're now part of this, and as I said last time, the musings from the drawing world, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. Depending on I'm going to keep the videos that are on there. I think there is three. I think um, I had I have some more entries on that. They're the pre-recorded, conceptual abstract videos. So if there's more demand for that anytime, I guess I might release them. If not, then I'll just wait to see how the drawing world turns up. And so have a good art life, and I will see you sometime. Maybe this year, maybe next year.